A lot of people are asking or wondering or very sure that they have a fake Ravensburger. So today we're going to help people understand the quality of Ravensburger and anything about kind of like, is it real Ravensburger? Is it really the same quality, and etc. Uh, for the first question that I would say, do you have a fake Ravensburger? The answer is really, you don't. But let's start actually by clarifying some of the terminology. So actually, if what people think is that there might be counterfeit Ravensburger out there. Now, counterfeit means that somebody went and produced something that looks exactly like a Ravensburger and printed on it Ravensburger, but it's not a Ravensburger basically. And that is not a very good thing to do when you have a cheap item like puzzles. Like overall, then they could just open a puzzle company if they could get to the Ravensburger close to quality and then actually try to sell them. But that's an interesting one. And so we're going to go through like why there are no counterfeit Ravensburger, even if you think that they are, and then reassure you that the quality of Ravensburger overall is the same, except in one case that we're going to actually cover. So here's how a normal Ravensburger looks like, right? There is a box, now it's smaller, but it's kind of the same. You have the blue piece that tells you that this is soft click technology. That's actually something that happened in 2007. Before that, it wasn't that soft click and it wasn't that simple over here. And more important than anything, if you go to the barcode, it will tell you underneath that it was made in Germany. There are some rare cases of puzzles made in France, and we'll talk about like other puzzles that are made in other places, but for the most part it's made in Germany. That is promising you it came from the same factory that actually all the Ravensburgers are coming from, and that it's the same quality that you know and like and expect to actually get. If it is a puzzle from the UK, I've heard lately somebody saying, oh, the puzzles that are UK puzzles are better. They're coming from the exact same factory, made in Germany. So there is no difference whatsoever between those things. And whoever thinks that there is actually is not right about this thing. So it's just very important to say. Made in Germany, all like this thing, it's all the same.
There is one tiny difference, and that is the UK puzzles come with a poster. The poster has information about the artist and sometimes about the puzzle, but of course it doesn't affect the quality whatsoever.
Now, let's go to like the next thing is like if you get an older Ravensburger puzzle, it will have the color of the piece is going to be similar to the color of the number here. So if 1000 is like basically like the color pink, then the piece is going to be pink. And if let's say 500 is orange, then the piece is going to be orange. I'll get one in a second so I can actually show you this thing. And so if you wanted to see the 500, it's an orange 500, an orange piece. The same thing would be turquoise 2000, turquoise piece, green 1500, green piece, etc. Just means that it's older technology, green backing, and the piece was just in the color of whatever that is. And again, if you see here, it will tell you here, made in France, basically like here. If you just wonder how it was made in France, it's like basically Ravensburger had a very short amount of time when it had a factory in France, and that ended basically. So it's still a Ravensburger quality. It's the only thing is because this puzzle has been created many years ago, which you can see this to actually show you 1996. The backing is going to be green, and that means that the soft click is not going to be the same because it's going to be slightly looser than the other one. I think it's still amazing, but if you don't like that, just don't buy stuff that has a green backing, and you don't even need to open the box for that because you can see on the box if the piece is not blue, the back is not blue basically. So it changed around 2007. You can find a few puzzles that had that before, but not actually a lot of them. If you saw the wooden puzzles, which are the new puzzles that actually exist with Ravensburger right now, These are made in Poland. They are top quality, they're amazing, but they're made in Poland because they have a wooden puzzle factory over there. And so Ravensburger is actually using that, giving its own material, which is like super quality wood and colors and all of those things. That's why you see those puzzles to be actually like an amazing quality. Another thing that you want to know is that Ravensburger has a factory in the Czech Republic where it's doing a lot of the games and where it's doing kids puzzles, let's say 100, 150 pieces. The boxes for actually those things is still made in Germany. So yeah, the overall quality there, of course, it's like Ravensburger built the factory, so you can actually trust them on this thing. So that's pretty much everything you need to know on that one. Now, if you see a box that actually like is a, let's say, a small box or a irregular size box, the first thing you can actually look at is, okay, the box is actually different, but if it says made in Germany under the barcode, the pieces are exactly the same as if you got the beautiful Alice puzzle that I had at the beginning. Personally, I don't like small boxes, and a lot of people don't like small boxes because they want to see the picture. I don't like it because it doesn't fit in my room. But the puzzle quality is absolutely the same. It's not a tiny bit different while it says made in Germany. So you see, this box, for example, is created because then actually if you go to Target or Walmart, that's the size of boxes that they expect to stack in their shelves. And so they told Ravensburger, you want to sell Ravensburger, you need to just fit into like the shelf size. And so Ravensburger did exactly with that. They also changed a bunch of like sometimes the fonts and other things. But basically like this box is mainly making the product cheaper, but making the product fit into those shelves, which are very standardized and expect exactly like a specific size. So again, if the market says made in Germany, then it's good and it's made in Germany. And now like look, stuff that is not made in Germany. Here is a puzzle of 1,000 pieces that has a very, very weird size. It's not similar size to the other things. And if you go and look under the barcode, it will tell you made in the USA. And so basically like this puzzle is not made in Germany. By the way, it is made in 2003, and you might find a bunch of those between like 2002 and 2007, I believe. And by the way, if you open the box, you would find out in most cases that the pieces are different than Ravensburger. That's actually the closest to Ravensburger. I'll open another one that you can see that it's like super different. But in any case, so if you see that it says made in USA, and you can always check the actual barcode for that. You might see like this weird printing, and people would be coming to me and saying, well, that is fake. And I was like, no, actually between the years of like 2003 and 2007 or so, Ravensburger tried to actually print puzzles in New Hampshire in a factory that most of the time printed stuff more like, I would say, Springbok, but people that love Springbok might not agree with what I'm saying. I think it's really like bad quality. It's definitely not what you expect from a Ravensburger. So when I'm looking at like made in the USA, I'm most likely not going to get this puzzle at all. But if you don't know about this, you might think that it's fake. And yeah, so most people in Ravensburger didn't even know that it happened, but Thomas actually did remember that when I asked him about it. And so basically I can tell her like, this is legit Ravensburger. It's not a good one. It's not one that I would really recommend to get if you can actually eliminate that. But it is totally genuine. And they stopped it because the quality wasn't what you would expect, and it wasn't even cheap to print this. So here's another example of the same thing, made in the USA, very large font, like all of those pieces. Okay, I got you another one so you can actually see that. So this saying made in the USA as well. And you can see the box in the front has this very weird shape on the box, which people might think that's a fake thing, but it's not. And if you look at the pieces, all the pieces are weird like that. So one, they're very, very thin, And the second thing, they're very kind of shaped like springbok. And I guess, again, if it's made in the US, you don't know if the pieces are going to look kind of similar to Ravensburger or different or more springbok or anything like that. Now, the images themselves are also kind of different than what you would expect in most cases. So I wanted to just show you that one. So I bought this one and then I actually did it. I mean, it's not a great experience. It's not impossible though. So somebody that actually wasn't sure again was looking at this and said, wait, this is not the Ravensburger symbol. So again, it is actually a Ravensburger symbol, and it says here Ravensburger, USA, New Hampshire, but if you go to the barcode, it says made in Germany.
And even with this weird writing on the box, it is still a genuine Ravensburger.
And that's the most important piece. So there is no counterfeit of Ravensburger whatsoever. Definitely not one that says Ravensburger with all of those things, with this, with that. Like, it's actually going to be very, very expensive to try to get to this thing. But it is actually like real Ravensburger. In it just that you want to check if it says made in Germany or not. And the boxes size are just different depending on like where Ravensburger wanted to sell it. Is it going to Target, or is it going to somewhere else, or like basically like that. And sometimes you'll see boxes with this signal over here in different type of font, and it will say here again something like the North America, and it's going to say something that's not exactly the same. But it doesn't matter. It's all Ravensburger. It's all completely legit Ravensburger. The only thing is just, was it made in Germany or not? And as I said earlier, the wooden ones are going to be made in Poland, and a bunch of like the small ones are going to be made in the Czech Republic. And all of those things are Ravensburger quality, except the ones that have been created in the USA during the years that are not there. And so we said also, if you see the other color here, then it's not the same because it's an older quality, and so it doesn't have the exact same fit. Now, with that, we need to just... okay, one more thing you want to know about Ravensburger is that Ravensburger is also printing Nathan puzzles. And so the difference with Nathan puzzles are they are printed on a page that is linen, which means that it's actually slightly more... I would say shiny and smooth. I have to admit that I have not seen any difference from my perspective, but according to what I've heard in the Ravensburger factory, the French people actually like it like that. And so that's the reason that they just replace the paper and print it, and then they actually have slightly smoother type of linen kind of feel. Again, I have not seen any difference, to say the truth, but I don't do Nathan's most of the time. But if you're interested in that, that would be something that you probably want to know. Another thing that's probably worth mentioning, and I've showed it in one of my Mickey videos, that if you look at a 3,000 or a 4,000 or a 5,000 piece puzzle, actually those puzzles are not cut as a one giant thing. They do have something that the left side and the right side are actually, if you put them one on top of the other, you will get a match, which means that you can switch pieces between the left and the right side. Moreover, it means that if from some reason the puzzle has slightly shifted, like it could be like a millimeter, you would see that the cut is not perfect, but very close to perfect. And I would say that does happen. It's not necessarily like related to like there is not a problem in the cut. There was a problem in the alignment if that happened. It's not that like there is by mistake pieces that are actually like going to be similar. It's actually like by design the way that it works, because this is actually how those puzzles are being cut. Because you cannot cut a giant puzzle in one machine. So you actually like create some type of a template that has already the side that is the middle, and you just cut without it. So there will be really two sides that are similar, and then you can either by mistake or deliberately exchange pieces. And as I said, it might actually slightly touch the alignment which is sometimes not exactly perfect, but just very close to perfect. I hope with that you know now that you don't have a fake Ravensburger and you don't have a counterfeit Ravensburger, and you, if you think you do, by the way, please send me a photo or start a video call with me or whatever. But really, you don't have those things. And then, if you have any questions about the quality, as I said, there is no difference about the puzzles that go to Canada, go to the US, or go to Germany. They're all the same. They're all coming from the exact same factory, which is like super amazing quality. And I cannot tell you like how much Ravensburger is going the extra mile to make sure that we get beautiful puzzles that are absolutely perfect. And I can only attest to like what I know and what I've seen and how many puzzles I personally touched. And I have to say that they are absolutely amazing with what they're doing. So with that, I think that I will leave you to go back into puzzling. And if you have any more questions about quality or about box related things, please let me know, and I will be more than happy to give you accurate information about how those things are working. And in the meantime, please subscribe, and thank you for watching, and bye-bye.